Hi, my name is John and I'm a Laravel developer. I've been creating Laravel web applications and SaaS products for several years now, and I just love the Laravel ecosystem and the community that's built up around it. And like many Laravel developers, I've used a lot of the payment processing packages that are available, including Cashier and Spark. I actually have Spark in several applications right now. But I recently learned about Outseta from a podcast that I was listening to. Jeff, one of the co-founders, was a guest on the podcast, and I had never heard of Outseta before, and I don't know why, but as he talked about it, it really resonated with me because whenever I spin up a new SaaS product, there are so many pieces that I have to integrate and get going and connected in order for it to be successful. So I started using Outseta, and as I dove in and learned more about it, I thought it would be useful to create a package to integrate Laravel with Outseta and make that available for others to use as well, and so that I can reuse it. So I wanted to walk through the process of setting it up and what you need to just be aware of. Hopefully it helps you as you use it in your own application. But I think one of the reasons I hadn't really heard about it in the Laravel community is that it's really targeted, it seems to be targeted at no-code solutions. So you can see examples here of like Webflow and WordPress and Notion and other platforms that you can use to build membership sites and communities and charge for those. But there's not a lot of information on Laravel itself, and there is some really good documentation on how to configure the backend application, but it did take a little diving into the documentation to understand that and the pieces and how they come together. So that is all included in this package, hopefully, to get you up and running. And you can use the package, or you can just look at the code and see how it's put together so that you can use it in your own application. What we've done with the package is we're using the embedded login and registration forms. But then when a user registers and signs up for a subscription, then a user is created on the Outseta side and then also within your Laravel application. And there's actually an account that's created, and then the user is associated with that account. And then you have full access to all of the Laravel authorization and middleware policies, so that you can control how people access and what resources are available within your Laravel app. So let me go ahead and get started showing you how to install the package. When you do create a new Laravel project, you have these options of using No Starter Kit, Breeze, or Jetstream. And I'm going to show it with No Starter Kit. There are a few additional steps that you need to do if you're using Breeze or Jetstream. And that is because Outseta, or this package, is going to create its own login and registration routes. And so you need to remove those from your Breeze or Jetstream installation. And I think that'll make sense once you get into the package, but I'm just going to select No Starter Kit, and we'll go ahead and install it. This might take a minute, so I'm going to fast forward and we'll come back when it's done. Okay, that's now complete. So let's go ahead and close that. We'll go back to our browser. I'm going to go ahead and share this application with Herd. Just doing a Herd share, which uses Expose under the hood, so that we have a URL that we can access from outside of our network. And this is so that we can actually use webhooks and test those webhooks. So let's head over to the package README, and the first thing we're going to do is install the package itself. You can just copy and paste that command. Once we have installed the package, then we need to run the migrations. And what this migration does is it creates an accounts table and it adds a foreign key to the user table. If you do happen to use a different user model, you may need to change that. And you can do that with a key in your .env, or you can publish the configuration. But I'll go ahead and run those. And then the next step would be to add this component to your layout files. The way that we installed Laravel, there are no layout files. So we do have some built-in an app layout and a guest layout that get loaded, and you'll probably want to create your own because the ones we have don't have any application Chrome around them. So you don't have like a menu navigation or anything, but it does let you see the Outseta integration right away. So you'll want to customize that in your app. But if you do install Breeze or Jetstream, then you can go ahead and install the Quick Start script component here. And then the next thing we're going to do is just set these keys within our .env. The first three are retrieved from Outseta. So you have your subdomain that you created when you signed up for Outseta. Your public key is the JWT key that's used to authenticate users on the Laravel side. And then you have your webhook key that's created in the notifications. And when you set up webhooks, you can specify keys so that the webhooks are authenticated before processing any data received through them. So the last one that we're going to change is, just because we don't have a dashboard in our Laravel installation, we're going to change that to the profile page so that you can see what that looks like. And we do have one more thing that we need to do, and I'll add it to the README, and that is we need to add a has account to our user model. So I'll go ahead and do that, and then we'll go take a look at the site. So this is the site that we initially created, and you can see we don't have any login or registration routes, but in this view, once we publish the laravel-outseta, or once we install the laravel-outseta package, we can just reload, and now we have links to the login and registration. So I'll go to the registration, and you'll see the Outseta registration form. And like I said, you don't have like a navigation or menu or logo because we just have like this blank layout file that we're using to display this. So you would want to include those in your application, or if you installed Breeze or Jetstream, those would already be included. So let me go ahead and select the free plan, and I'll go ahead and create an account here. And you'll notice there is no password field in that form. What Outseta does is they send a verification email to the email address that you just entered. And then there's a link in that email that you click on in order to set your password. So I'm going to go to my email and click on that now. And then you'll see here we have our password form, and I can set up my password. And it's at this point that once we're logged into Outseta, it's going to redirect back to our Laravel application, and we're going to create that account and the user within the Laravel application. So now we can use our middleware, our policies, all the authorization within the Laravel app to control access to our SaaS application. But what we're looking at here is just the embed form from Outseta, where they can manage their profile, their account, they can add team members, they can change their plan and cancel their subscription. All that is from Outseta itself. So now that we have that set up, we're ready to start building our application. We have our authentication created. We have our profile management. And what we would want to do probably is go in and set up the webhooks within Outseta. And you can read more about this in the wiki, but hopefully this gives you a good idea about how this integration works and what it provides for you as you start building your SaaS application.